some of the principal evidence that must be explained. 1. The Twin Towers were destroyed faster than physics can explain by a free fall speed, quote-unquote, collapse. 2. They underwent mid-air pulverization and were turned to dust before they hit the ground. 3. The protective bathtub was not significantly damaged by the destruction of the Twin Towers. 4. The rail lines, the tunnels, and most of the rail cars had only light damage, if any. 5. The WTC Underground Mall survived well, witnessed by Warner Brothers, Roadrunner, and friends. There were reports that the Gap was looted. 6. The seismic impact was minimal, far too small based on a comparison with the King Dome-controlled demolition. 7. The Twin Towers were destroyed from the top down, not bottom up. 8. The demolition of WTC-7 was whisper quiet, and the seismic signal was not significantly greater than background noise. 9. The upper 80% approximately of each tower was turned into fine dust and did not crash to the earth. 10. The upper 90% approximately of the inside of WTC-7 was turned into fine dust and did not crash to the earth. 11. One file cabinet with folder dividers survived. 12. No toilet survived or even recognizable portions of one. 13. Windows of nearby buildings had circular and other odd-shaped holes in them. 14. In addition to the odd window damage, the marble facade was completely missing from around WFC-1 and WFC-2 entry, with no other apparent structural damage. 15. Fuzzballs, evidence that the dust continued to break down and become finer and finer. 16. Truckloads of dirt were hauled in and hauled out of the WTC site, a pattern that continues to this day. 17. Fuming of the dirt pile. Fuming decreased when watered, contrary to fumes caused by fire or heat. 18. Fuzzy blobs, a hazy cloud that appeared to be around material being destroyed. 19. The Swiss cheese appearance of steel beams and glass. 20. Evidence of molecular dissociation and transmutation as demonstrated by the near-instant rusting of affected steel. 21. Weird fires. The appearance of fire but without evidence of heating. 22. Lack of high heat. Witnesses reported that the initial dust cloud felt cooler than ambient temperatures. No evidence of burned bodies. 23. Columns were curled around a vertical axis like rolled-up carpets, where overloaded buckled beams should be bent around the horizontal axis. 24. Office paper was densely spread throughout lower Manhattan, unburned, often alongside cars that appeared to be burning. 25. Vertical round holes were cut into buildings 4, 5, and 6, and into Liberty Street in front of Bankers Trust, and into Vesey Street in front of WTC 6, plus a cylindrical arc was cut into Bankers Trust. 26. All planes except top secret missions were ordered down until 10:31 a.m., when only military flights were allowed to resume, after both towers were destroyed, and only 2 minutes 120 seconds after WTC-1 had been destroyed. 27. Approximately 1,400 motor vehicles were towed away, toasted in strange ways during the destruction of the Twin Towers. 28. The order and method of destruction of each tower minimized damage to the bathtub and adjacent buildings. 29. More damage was done to the bathtub by earth-moving equipment during the cleanup process than from the destruction of more than 1 million tons of buildings above it. 30. Twin tower control without damaging neighboring buildings. In fact, all seriously damaged and destroyed buildings had a WTC prefix. 31. The north wing of WTC-4 was left standing, neatly sliced from the main body, which virtually disappeared. 32. For more than 7 years, regions of the ground under where the main body of WTC-4 stood have continued to fume. 33. The WTC-1 and WTC-2 rubble pile was far too small to account for the total mass of the buildings. 34. The WTC-7 rubble pile was too small for the total mass of the building and consisted of a lot of mud. 35. Eyewitness testimony about toasted cars, instant disappearance of people by unexplained waves, a plane turning into a mid-air fireball, electrical power cut off moments before WTC-2 destruction, and the sound of explosions. 36. Eyewitness testimony of Scott pack explosions in fire trucks and fire trucks exploding that were parked near WTC. 37. There are many flip cars in the neighborhood of the WTC complex near trees with full foliage. 38. Magnetometer readings in Alaska recorded abrupt shifts in the Earth's magnetic field with each of the events at the WTC on 9/11. 39. Hurricane Aaron, located just off Long Island on 9/11/01, went virtually unreported in the days leading up to 9/11, including omission of this hurricane on the morning weather map, even though that portion of the Atlantic Ocean was shown on the map. 40. Silly string, the appearance of curious corkscrew trails. 41. Uncanny similarities with the Hutchinson effect, where the Hutchinson effect exhibits all of the same phenomena listed above. Is it possible that such a technology exists? Since invention of the microwave for cooking in 1945 and lasers in 1955, commercial and military development of directed energy technology has proceeded apace. So, use of directed energy technology is likely to exist. And the data tells us it does exist.